What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to break down what the news, data, and technicals are telling us about Tesla, how the overall market may affect it, and what news just came out involving more price cuts for Tesla, which is going to be very, very important. Now, before I break anything down about this, though, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,000. And the best part is, any could be a free Tesla share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 1 week. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So when it comes to Tesla, overall the technicals do look a little bit more in favor of the bulls. We got a very, very nice balance with a long wick and a reversal candle of this 180 support. And Tesla did try to fight this resistance zone right about here, which was actually stopping us for the last couple of days. So the real question is, could Tesla get this break? As of right now, the odds do favor it, but it might slow down a little bit in the very beginning. It might be a little slow because of the new price cuts to get the break, but I do believe eventually the odds still favor it trying to get that break and trying to get above 190 very, very soon. I also want to note some more data that came out and how the market could actually affect us as well. Now, a lot of people are talking about a potential crash. I'm going to make another video tomorrow to actually address something else that just happened with the markets that's very important. But I just want to note that for the crash, I mean, it is a possibility going into like the earnings cycle, maybe into May, but so far we don't have a true indication of it just yet. And the market's still holding up nicely. I also want to note that there's a lot of shorting going on for the third through fourth weeks of April in particular. Also for next week, there's tons of shorting with very high put to call ratios. And when that happens, the market makers benefit by actually squeezing the markets. Like they like to cause a lot of pain for shorts. Now, for Tesla, one good thing about it, however, that's very different from many other stocks out there, which are seeing increases in the short interest, is Tesla's short interest has been going down a bit for the last couple of days. We did see lots of shorts pile in, which dragged Tesla down, but a lot of them started closing their positions. And now we're actually seeing the short interest just lowering. We're seeing less Tesla shares being shorted, which is a good sign. This tells me that so far the odds are favoring less like extreme selling pressure for Tesla. It looks like it wants a base where it's at currently. And as long as the market does not like crash, Tesla has the potential to get a really, really nice bounce. Now, why am I talking about a crash? Well, I just want to note to everyone that on Wednesday, we have CPI coming out. We have some time until then, so I believe the market's going to hold up, maybe continue to rally for a couple of days until it comes out. And I don't know if CPI is going to help the market continue to rally or even reverse. We just don't know yet. I will make a video once again tomorrow about more details, but I want to talk about something else. Today, we had the unemployment data come out. Unemployment was actually as expected, which is pretty good. It's not going to negatively affect the markets too much. Non-farm payrolls were a little bit lower than expected, but this is delayed data for March. And the labor force participation rate was once again a little bit higher than expected, which is actually still telling us that the labor market for March was not extremely weak just yet. But I believe now that the data came out for April, we are starting to see more weakness. So once again, I don't think this data will affect the market that horribly, and I still think the market has potential to try to keep going. And I just want to note that, once again, the data right here is a little bit delayed for the month of March. This all just came out. The last week of March started to show signs of weakening occurrences in the jobs markets. And during the first week of April, we saw more weakness as well. That tells us that we're starting to see a tightening of financial conditions and we are getting closer to a recession. The PMI reports are suggesting that, the yield curves are suggesting that. I mean, almost every technical indicator at this point is now telling us a recession is coming. And I really, really believe we're getting very close to it, if not, we're already in it to speak right now. Now, when it comes to Tesla, we have something else that's very different that's going on with it. We do have some good news and also some not so great news going forward. The first thing I want to mention is the fact that Tesla actually nominated the ex CTO JB Straubel. I do apologize if I said that wrong, to the board of directors. He has a lot of engineering experiences, and he's also, I believe, one of the co founders of Tesla. So once again, very awesome guy. It's very cool that they're nominating him again. I believe he can do a great job. I really hope that he brings lots of his experience to good use and it really benefits Tesla and the operations leadership going forward. He also worked with Elon Musk on many other factory builds, especially in Reno. So once again, very, very good experience. If he gets the shareholders' votes going forward, he would replace the current board member that does not actually plan to stand for re-election for the company's annual shareholder meeting, and I do believe the odds favor it. So, good sign right there for the company. Any company is made up with very strong management, very strong employees, and I believe he's going to help us. Now, going into the news that came out, Tesla's opening orders for a cheaper $50,000 Model Y with the 4860, 4680 cells. Sorry about that, guys. And overall, this is once again more beneficial, at least during a time like this. Once again, people are very excited and uh, very apprehensive at the same time about the markets, but they are excited about buying these cars on a daily basis. The Model Y is an incredible vehicle, and I do believe that the new standard range that came out still has many, many awesome specs, and we're continuing to see good demand for it. So even though demand is still decent in a way, it isn't actually that great for Tesla overall. Because when it comes to the other models, and when you account for other factors, when you look at inventory levels, they're continuing to remain high over and over again. When I say demand is still at a decent place for Tesla in a way, is because they're still able to give us 400,000 deliveries per quarter, right? There still is demand for them. People are still buying them. But compared to before and compared to other periods of time, demand is still slowing down, which is kind of like this dichotomy between Tesla giving us strong reports and Tesla not meeting expectations. What do I mean by that? What I mean is Tesla could give us 400,000 deliveries, which is awesome. They could break records, but they may not always meet expectations now because demand is not as high as what it once was. It's high, but not extremely high. And as a result of that, we're starting to see more of these inventory levels going up. They're continuing to go up. I've been talking about this, and this is actually making me very concerned now because Tesla's getting less sales than before. Their backlogs are actually getting smaller and inventories keep going up. Demand is dropping for the entire used car market right now, and we are getting closer to a recession, which is negatively affecting Tesla. So I told you all that Tesla is now incentivized to make some very big changes ASAP because if they don't do anything, we're going to see inventory shoot up and it's going to affect Tesla's earnings horribly. And unfortunately, I don't really want to say this is good or bad news just yet without seeing more data from earnings and etc. But Tesla has cut its prices for the fifth time since January. Another cycle of price cuts is coming. Tesla's cutting its prices between 2 and nearly 6%, according to its website. Now, once again, they're going to be cutting the prices for the Model 3 sedan by $1,000, the Model Y crossover by $2,000, according to the website, and their more expensive Model S and Model X's by about $5,000, which is actually quite significant. It was also worth noting that the Model 3 RWD was not actually qualifying for the reduced prices thanks to the $7,500 tax credit. So there were some negative news that came out because of this. And the mainstream media is just going nuts over this. Tesla's dropping prices again, and this and that. I mean, people are just, I don't know, they're just losing it right now. The media loves to just make Tesla look horrible. This article is saying that Elon Musk claimed that his company's cars are appreciating assets, but they keep cutting prices. Once again, that's not necessarily how it works. Elon Musk was correct. Technically, I do believe there could be appreciation in these cars if they do incorporate full self-driving technology over the next couple of decades. But for the short term, we're in a very different economy right now. The markets need uh, lots of contraction. We're going to continue to see the Fed raise rates, and they're going to likely keep rates higher for a very long period of time, in my opinion. And I believe the plan is to keep them high because the last CPI report that came out was 6% year over year. CPI is still too hot, so the Fed has to do that. And as a result, the used car market, the car market in essence, and every market is now being disrupted by the rate hikes. And it's just getting worse as time goes on, unfortunately. So, what is the Fed going to do? In my opinion, The Fed's going to raise rates more, maybe in May, maybe in June too. I'm not too sure about June. They may even pause in June. But either way, they're going to raise rates a little more, then they're going to keep them high for a long time. And what's going to happen is the economy is going to start tightening on its own, meaning that demand will slow down because of a tightening of financial conditions and also because of the credit markets which are going to have a lot of stress. So a lot of people do not want to take on mortgages. They don't want to take on like massive car loans. And this is hurting Tesla's demand, it's hurting everyone's demand, even for like Apple and other companies out there. And earnings are going to start getting hurt because of this, unfortunately. I believe the market has some downside coming. Maybe I don't know about this next like month because of how many puts there are, but I would say sometime between Q2 and Q3, there's going to be some major downside coming. I don't know if it's going to take us to new lows yet. I will make a video about that again for you guys tomorrow. But I just want to note that this is very important stuff to consider. Now, Tesla is once again cutting prices. This is just because of the current economic status, and going forward, it will affect their earnings at this point, in my opinion. I'm actually becoming more worried about their margins. I don't know if they're going to maintain strong margins. I don't know how profitable they're going to be with all these price cuts. And it's very important that we look at this because what's good about Tesla is they have a lot of cash at hand. They have all this cash. They're able to actually leverage themselves with high liquidity. But what's not good is their earnings and their guidance might not be as strong. Like Elon Musk told us, expect a potential big difference between production deliveries going forward. However, Elon Musk did also assure us that they're going to be doing very well going forward for the much longer term, and we don't have much to worry about. Yes, there's going to be pain for the short term, as many people have talked about, but for the longer term, things are still fantastic for Tesla. I would say that Investor Day was a big win for long term investors because Tesla's telling us they have some very good production means. Now, Tesla also sets the 2023 annual shareholder meeting for May 16th at Giga Texas. Please be ready for this. This could also be a big catalyst for them. We'll see how it goes, but it's not as big as earnings, which are in about under 2 weeks from now. All right, so I know I've been talking a lot about the news. How is this going to affect Tesla's share price? In my opinion, it's a little tricky to tell what's about to happen because we have CPI on Wednesday. Approaching it, I do believe the market might try to keep going. Tesla might cool off a little bit thanks to the price cuts, however, going into Monday, but it should bounce. And if we could break this resistance zone right about here, we're very close to it. I think that the market pushing up could help Tesla continue to go. And I believe either by Tuesday, if not by Tuesday, then by Friday, the odds do favor. This chart is telling us we have upside coming. It looks bullish. If you look at the MACD, look at the crossover right here. We don't have a divergence on the hourly, but we do have a sign of a reversal anyways. And it looks to me like it's going to try to get above 190 very soon. As long as we can break this resistance zone right about here, this 186 level, I see 190 coming, if not 192. And as long as we can hold these levels, 195 to 198 becomes very possible. Now, as long as CPI is decent, let's just say CPI comes out on Wednesday and like CPI is fine, right? CPI comes out on Wednesday, I think before the market opens, sorry, right here. As long as it's decent, Tesla has the potential to try to keep going after CPI comes out and try to continue to rally because there's going to be hype, in my opinion, before earnings. Tesla has a tendency of doing very well before earnings. It likely starts to rally before these events. And like deliveries day, you have to be very careful after earnings comes out in about, I think, under 2 weeks, April 19th. So please be very, very careful. Now, when it comes to the other tickers, I'm going to make another video about them maybe on Sunday. But for the time being, I just want to note that some tickers are still looking bullish, like Apple and Nvidia. I think Meta too. I'll have to double check Meta, but I still think the market has more upside potential. Tesla looks bullish from a technical standpoint. The news was not very bullish thanks to the price cuts. It could cause a small drop on Tesla, but it should still eventually try to break out, in my opinion. It still should try, and I still believe Tesla has a lot of potential to do so, especially because there's less shorting going on with the price. All right, so today is Good Friday. The market was closed. Please enjoy the rest of the day. I want the best for everyone out there. I will record a video tomorrow about the crash. I want to talk about something very important and how it could affect Tesla. Once again, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to happen. I just want to make a video just to address a couple of things. And then I also want to talk about other tickers going into Sunday. So I have a lot of videos coming out. Please, please, please be on the lookout, and I will see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon, since the long term is still incredibly bright, and peace out.